Moving along, we have the draw menu. We're not really going to touch on this. Suffice to say, um, if you're presenting information to teams, to clients, to management, you can use certain drawing tools here. And what I'm quickly going to do to illustrate this, what might illustrate this better, is if I go to my web browser and I have an Excel, the same Excel workbook on my browser. So this is in the cloud. So this is where I can be collaborating, working with colleagues. I also have the draw menu. It's in a slightly different place. But if I go to now, let's select the yellow highlighter. If I click on that, I can then draw a circle around the key information that I want my audience to focus on. And when I've finished, I can go back to my cursor and then I might want to get rid of that. So I can select that highlighter and notice it's drawn a square around the highlighter and then hit or select delete on my keyboard on my laptop. And that's now gone. So that was using Excel online in the cloud. It is very similar to desktop. You can see here we've got very similar menus. However, we will primarily be using Excel desktop for this training session because there is more functionality, there's more you can do, and it's probably more familiar to you watching this. Page layout. So this is really set up. This is how do you want your spreadsheet? Do you want it portrait or do you want it landscape? And that will mainly be determined by your printing. I'm going to take it back to portrait. Actually, I'll cover this afterwards. Because we will be dealing with printing in another session. Yeah, formulas. So formulas, we're not going to touch on formulas today, or in this session rather, but we will be covering formulas in subsequent sessions. Formulas are very important in data. They allow us to do things like add data, to clean data, to analyze data. And there are many formulas, many of which you will never have heard of and you will never use, and that's absolutely fine. You just use the formula that you need to use. And just to give you an example of how many there are, I'm going to go down to the ribbon and starting with the AutoSum, and we saw that on the home ribbon. But if I go back to AutoSum, we have other functions here where I can work out the average. I can ask Excel how many instances or how many cells have been populated, count the numbers, etc. If I look at recently used, these are the ones that I am using as a user. So it remembers what each of you are using. So rather than having to go and find all the formulas, you can just click in here. Or don't forget, you can use the search. And so I might want to use an XLOOKUP. Let's do that. Oops. And there we go. And I've got XLOOKUP shown there. So even if you don't know which of these, because you can see there are a vast array of formulas. If you don't know which pots the formula is in, just use your search bar. Data, we won't spend much time looking at data at the moment. This is for more advanced users doing advanced functions with data, and let's leave that as there. Review. Now, I did briefly show comments earlier, so if I want to, let's do that now, actually. If I want to make a comment, so I have a cell highlighted here, and it's cell C3. So I want to add a comment of check this, and I'm going to now post the comment. I have to select this paper aeroplane arrow. That's now been added. If I click away, that comment has disappeared, but I can see there's a little icon, like a speaker icon. And if I hover over that, then I can see that there's some comments, and that might be my comments, it might be my colleagues' comments. But you also have now, and the reason I've shown you this is you also have show comments. So show comments would just search all of the comments across your workbook, and then you can see them all in a panel down here and click on each of one of them.